Good morning, everybody. My name is Ethan, and I'm the media director here at Movement Church. And with me,
Yeah, I'm Richie, and I'm the lead pastor here at Movement Church Tipp City.
and you are listening to the Morning Momentum.
Yeah, man, it's Monday.
It is,
Are
and
you feeling it?
definitely feels like a Monday today.
It really
It
does.
feels rough, but there's some good holidays today, good national days that might get you in a better mood to get the week kicked off.
So today's the 28th, right?
Today is March 28th.
All right, so let's hear what holidays are.
And these are, I think they're humorous,
Okay.
I'll say.
Okay.
But it is National Triglyceride Day today.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure what that means for us or for you listening. Maybe it means indulge in the triglycerides. Snack a little bit. I don't know. And then I thought this one was funny. Respect Your Cat Day.
Ugh.
I know.
Yeah.
But I don't have cats, so I never really liked them. I'm more of a dog person, obviously. But
Preacher. I agree.
you know, I've been to houses with cats, and I remember one time I went to a friend's house in high school, and or maybe even middle school, but we had to work on this project, and I went down to his basement, and he was upstairs, and I was waiting for him. I kept hearing noises around me, and I was like, something's down here, and I turned to the right, and there's a cat's face just right there.
Oh.
Then it scared me. I was like, what is this? And then they just started coming out, and I was like, oh man. But I feel like people never like them.
You've got cat people,
Mm-hmm.
and then you've got dog people, and I
Yeah.
think that you see dog people a little bit more. If you're a cat person listening, no judgment here. Just not my favorite. In fact, I'm highly allergic to cats.
I just don't get, because whenever you hear about them, it's always like everything you hear about cats is that they're not, like, they're mean. So it's like, why would I want a cat? And then everything you hear about dogs is like man's best friend.
Right.
They're always in a good mood. So it's like, why would I ever want a cat versus a dog?
Well, Kristen wanted a cat once, and I made a deal with her, which she quickly declined. I told her that we could get a Bengal cat, and they're the ones that are like the size of a dog, and they're like a hybrid of a domestic cat and a jaguar, I think,
Yeah.
and or a leopard, one of the two. I don't know.
Why would she say no to that?
That's what I said.
I feel like a large cat is the only acceptable cat to have in your house.
Especially if you could take it out on a walk. Like,
It'd just be, I feel like that's more intimidating than like when people have big dogs. If you had like a big cat.
I feel like it's straight Dubai. Like,
Mhm.
they don't do the domestic cats in Dubai. They got tigers,
Yeah, exotic cats.
white tigers.
That'd be insane to see walking down the streets of Tipp City, Ohio.
Yeah, you've got the Lambo driving by with the convertible top down and the Bengal tiger sitting shotgun.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, it'd be pretty awesome, actually. So, but hey, man, it's definitely a Monday, and I know that for some it's been kind of been an uphill, downhill kind of week for them last week, because we went from, for me, anytime we go from like 60, 70 degree weather, we're out there, we're in shorts, we're in short sleeves, and then all of a sudden we get back down and it snows.
Yeah.
It just does a toll on you,
It's crazy, because I think that's what makes it feel so Monday. It's just like, it's like you, here in Ohio, you already went through all the seasons and you're back to winter. It's
All
like
in
you went
one
through
week.
spring, summer, got a little chilly, and now it's cold, and it's like, I can't wait.
I'll tell you, last Sunday, church got over, and I was outside talking to some people, and the weather was just very much fallish. Like, I thought it was perfect weather to maybe have a bonfire. All you needed on was a hoodie, and you were good to go. That's how you know you're in Ohio, if you have hoodie weather.
Somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there, you got, hey, it's hoodie season. And then, so, you got that time, and then all of a sudden it heats up, and you get some days that's beautiful, and then it snows again. And then, I kid you not, I don't know if you've looked at the weather this week, Ethan, but it's going to go from 49 one day to 73 on
Yeah, I
Wednesday,
saw that.
back to 49. Like, come on.
Something's got to happen that day. I don't know. I saw that. But it's like the time of the season that we're getting to where I don't know if it's like this a whole lot of other places. It is all my life because I've been in Ohio, but it's like you got to wear like a sweatshirt or something in the morning, but then like in the afternoon when you leave work or whatever, it's too hot. Like it's too hot for sweatshirts. So you always have to pack according to how the weather's going to change that day.
Yeah, if you're listening and you've never experienced the Ohio weather, just to sum it up for you, my kids, when it was 70 degrees out, they wanted to wear shorts to school. And so I agreed because they really wanted to wear shorts. But the compromise was they had to wear their winter coats in the morning to school.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
It was like 34 degrees in the morning and then 70 by the time they got off the bus. And
you have to dress for 2 different seasons in one day.
it's awful. It's awful. But yeah, I mean, you're 100% right. So, I think it does take a toll on you. And really does play with you. I mean, sometimes you can feel it physically. Your throat might start to get sore a little bit, or anything like that. A lot of people end up getting sinus infections and stuff when the weather keeps changing like that. And then you got the other part of it, which is just flat out mental. Like you're just like 73 comes around, it's sunny out, there's not a cloud in the sky, and you're like, let's go. And then all of a sudden, it's back to this again.
Yeah.
And
it's gray out.
Yeah, it's gray, and it's just. So anyways, enough about that. I think it goes very well with what we've been talking about the past couple of weeks with healing. I think Ohio needs to be healed of its decisions on weather, and we just need to go back to the warm stuff. But, last week, so I'm talking like a whole week ago, we talked about the idea of healing from mental health and what that might look like. And we chatted about different ways that the Lord answers your prayers and stuff. And it was really cool to see how the Lord moved in that service. We had people that really did need that. And so it was really good to see how some breakthrough happened and some different things with that. But this week we move into a part of the series. And I'm going to be honest with you, Ethan, and I'm going to ask you here in just a second what your thoughts are on this. But when I was processing through this series and the Lord was placing different topics on my mind and on my heart, one of the ones that I kind of struggled with was this healing from memories idea. Because I'll just be real with you. In all of my time in the church, I don't think I've ever remembered somebody like talking about the fact that we need to receive healing from memories.
Yeah.
Now that you hear that, I mean, how important do you think that this specific week is and this specific topic is?
Yeah. When you were telling me some of the ideas that you had for the sermon series, and you brought up healing from memories, like it's something I never thought about, and I don't think a lot of people think about it, because it's your past, it's behind you, so it's like, why does that even matter really with how I'm feeling right now? So I'm kind of excited to hear about it or like process through it with what we did, but just kind of thinking about that in a way I've never thought about, and maybe how that is affecting me today, and how I can grow from that. It's really interesting to think about.
Yeah. The story that we kicked off Sunday with was this story of this place called Bethesda.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're listening right now, I want you to just go ahead and say that, Bethesda.
Bethesda.
That's your word of the day. Feel free to use it.
Try and use it in a sentence today.
Yeah.
Bethesda.
I actually just saw, I was on a map today, and there is a Bethesda, Ohio.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I was surprised. So anyways.
Do you think this Bethesda was named after Bethesda, Ohio?
No.
Ohio has been here from the beginning of time.
From the beginning of time. Ohio was the beginning, the end.
Ohio is we don't have to get into
that. But, here's the reality of it. Like, just to sum it up, and listen, I would definitely encourage you to go back and to read it. It's in John chapter 5, and right at the beginning of chapter 5. But here's what happens. Jesus is on his way, and he's going to this Jewish festival, and it's time for Passover, and so he's headed there. He's got his disciples with him, and they're hanging out, And then all of a sudden, Jesus comes walking in Jerusalem, and he crosses this place called Bethesda. And it goes on to say that it was surrounded by 5 covered colonnades. And so you just get the picture of what's going on there. You know, it's this place that's it's sheltered a little bit, but it's still open. He walks through this, and when he walks through, Scripture just kind of paints this picture of all these disabled people, and it says the blind, the lame, the paralyzed, and they all just kind of lay around this little pool of water. Mm-hmm. And so Jesus walks in and sees all these people that are struggling, that have these things that they're struggling with. But Jesus goes straight to this guy, and Scripture says that he was an invalid for 38 years. So this man hasn't done anything. He has literally laid on the ground on his mat for 38 years.
Very long time.
Could you imagine being stuck in one spot?
I can't.
I mean, even when you think about it mentally.
Mm-hmm.
Mentally. And so here this man is. And then what we learn about from this man is that, I can take this back one more step. There's a verse in the NIV version, a lot of versions that are missing, and it talks about what happens in this time. And so what would happen is, and I think it's verse 5 or verse 4. It's one or the other. I'm sorry. But one of them is omitted. So if you're reading through and you go, where's that verse at? It just skips. You can go find it usually in the King James Version, especially like an older version of it. Mm-hmm. You can find this verse, but it talks about how the angels come down and they stir the waters. And that by stirring the waters, then the first person that gets into the pool, they're healed. And so this man has been laying here, and Jesus literally just walks up to him, and he just throws the question out to him, do you want to get well? But the reality of it is that this man, not even knowing that this was Jesus, and we learn about that a little bit later in the story, he doesn't even know that's Jesus. Mm-hmm. And so he sees this man, and he's just like, sir, I have nobody to help me get into the pool of water when it's stirred. And while I'm always trying to get in, someone else goes ahead of me and jumps in. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's something that we oftentimes struggle with. And when I say we, man, I mean myself. I'm sure you do at times. Other people struggle with this. And the fact that because of a past experience, we relate that to today's failures.
Yeah. So
for 38 years, I've laid here because every time that I try, somebody else runs and gets in. Mm-hmm. And so all of a sudden you get to this place where, you know, for the first few years, maybe he started going through the motions because he's like, somebody got in front of me last year. It's going to happen again. And then all of a sudden it's going to happen again. And it's going to happen again. And you just kind of get to the point finally where you're just defeated. Mm-hmm. And you're 20, and you're just like, is it even worth me exerting the effort to try to get in?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you start to make excuses as to why you can't get in, or you blame other people. And the reality of it is that we don't realize that it's the memory that's holding us back. Mm-hmm. You know, we start to put that on other people. We start to put that on ourselves. You know, we're not good enough. We'll never be good enough. Or they're never there for me. And so because they're never there for me, then it's their fault. And we kind of fall into this place. But Jesus says to this guy, get up, pick up your mat, and walk. He's telling him, look, you've got to get past this memory. You've got to get past this defeat. And you need to get up and you need to just move on. Mm-hmm. And I know that you've heard the story before, because all of a sudden now what happens? The guy literally stands up.
And he walks away.
He walks away.
Yeah, with his mat.
With his mat, mm-hmm. which I think is so important.
Yeah.
Because that was the thing that he was on for all that time. That is the thing that defined him, was his mat, because that's where he laid. That's where he was. And Jesus doesn't say, leave it behind. He says, take it with you. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that memory, you may not ever be able to put that memory behind you.
Yeah.
You'll always remember that. You know, I've never really seen where God's come in and erased memories, but he will heal you from the pain that those memories hold. if you allow him to do that. And so this guy, he was healed from the pain that those memories held of holding him back. And so he took that mat to be a walking testimony to what it is that God can do.
Yeah, I think it's kind of inspirational when you look at stuff like this, because it's healing from your memories, but then the memories you heal from, you use to heal other people, right? And so it's your experiences that you can use to help others, and I think it's kind of encouraging maybe when you're kind of in this spot in life and it feels really tough and like there's no way out. If you think about this, it's like, well, I know I'm going to get out, and when I do get out, I'll have this experience that'll help me and help others. And so I think it's really cool and really important with the carrying the mat with you, because now he has something that can be like, this happened to me through when he learns Jesus healed him, and it's a story and it's a testimony, and it's so powerful with that. So I think it can be encouraging when you're in these kind of spots to think this will help me out later and help others later too.
Yeah, even think about the fact of like how memories can hold you back. You're on your way probably into work or into school, and maybe you've had a bad experience at that place. Maybe at work it was a run-in with your boss or another colleague or something like that, and you're driving in right now dreading the fact that you're headed to work because you don't want to have to face another situation like that. And it's that memory that holds you back. Sometimes it's even a challenge of where we can go into our future. Maybe you were denied a promotion, or maybe somebody got hired over top of you, or something else happened, and all of a sudden, every time that you walk in, you know that your future is just destroyed. It's never going to happen. Well, maybe that door closed in that instant. Maybe it was just a temporary closure. It didn't mean that future was wiped away forever. But I think that so many times we let those memories do that, because memories, quite frankly, they can just destroy us. And I think of that scripture in Matthew chapter 11, verse 28, where it says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Man, who is that today?
All of us.
I mean, seriously, all of you who are weary and burdened today. We carry burdens with us, don't we? I mean, even the ones that we don't realize we're carrying. We carry them for our children. We carry them for our friends. We carry them for our parents or whoever it might be. And Jesus is just saying, hey, come to me. Yeah. Like, I'm going to take these from you. I'm going to find a way to give you rest in the things that's holding you back. But man, memories are not all bad. Yeah. I mean, think about the memory that we just talked about with that man. It held him back for 38 years. But then all of a sudden, what he had became his testimony. That memory he had became his testimony of at once he stood up and walked. Yeah. At once. And he took that and he shared that with people. And so those memories, just as Ethan was saying, like sometimes those memories we still have, but we're now able to rise up above them, conquer them, not allowing them to conquer us, and we're able to do big things. Yeah. But I also think of the good memories, Ethan. Like, sometimes we just need to be able to treasure the small stuff. Yeah. It's kind of funny that you mentioned that, because I was actually doing that the other day. And it might not seem like it was that, like great of a memory, but I found this old theme song to this old kids show I used to watch when I was a kid, like when I was sick and stuff, and you'd sit at home and watch TV. And it was always on like at noon or whatever when people don't watch TV because they're at school. But it was called In Between the Lions, and it was like an educational show on PBS. Nice. But like I heard it, and it was like instantly clicked. It was just memories of this time a long time ago that was just kind of nice to think about and simple. So it's kind of funny you bring that up, but I was doing that the other day with some childhood memories. It was kind of nice. I think it's so nice to be able to have those things. You treasure the small things. We think about the big things. You always remember those big things. Like I'll never forget a car accident I was in, or really when I got married, or my kids being born, those type of things. But it's also those small things, just like you said, the TV shows. For me, it's little things like different things in sporting events, baseball games. I'll never forget. It's a funny story. My dad was coaching me in soccer my freshman year, and I was the goalkeeper. And we're at Troy Junior High playing on their field. All right. And the ball comes rolling across midfield, and I looked up and I saw the clock, and I saw there was 5 seconds left. And so our entire team was down inside the other box because there was just a corner kick. Somehow the ball squeezed out, and it's one of their guys versus me. Mm-hmm. And so what do? Like, I saw the time. I thought that I could beat the guy to the ball. So I took off running from the goal box all the way to midfield and just kicked the ball as hard as I possibly could. And my dad just went nuts. What are you doing? I can't believe you're doing this. And then you hear,
End of the game.
And I'll never forget that moment because it was just hilarious because I saw that, okay, I can beat this guy because he's just now leaving the box. I'm already out past it, and so it was just one of those funny memories, that one of those small things, but it's something that I'll always remember with my dad because, man, he was hot. And then he heard the buzzer go off, and it was just like, oh, okay, like,
you're good.
Good play.
That's funny. That's risky stuff.
It is, but it's funny. That's the small stuff you gotta treasure. I think of a lot of times, like, one of the things that it sucks. It sucks in ministry, but also it's one of the things that's also nice because healing can come from it. But funerals, and one of the things that I like to do is sit around and just talk about memories with the family. And we usually before I'll do a funeral for a family, we sit down and we talk about things like pet peeves and what they loved and different things like that. And by doing that, all these small little treasured things that you put away, all of a sudden start to come to the top of your head. And it's just funny to watch them just come out, and the stories come out, the things that they learn about that person. And so it's so important. The other thing is, Ethan, is remembering what the Lord has done for you. Mm-hmm. I think it's so stinking important to remember those things.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I think of a lot of times when, because like kind of what we're talking about here, but you tend to remember the bad stuff. Mm-hmm. And so like that's just what you remember, because I think it affects you the hardest and the most. So when these good things happen, like you were saying, like if you're talking about memories at a funeral, it's these, when you're stuck in this hard, difficult place, all these good memories start to come back because you're not thinking about it. So like remembering what God has done for you can be hard sometimes, I think. Because when it's this good stuff and stuff you don't think about too much, you just kind of put it away as like, oh, that's nice, cool. I'll just keep going. Crap, I got in a car crash. Well, I'll remember that forever. So I think it's difficult trying to remember what God's done, but I think once you can, it's just so much more helpful because you know what he has done for you and what he can do, so it makes you trust more because you know what he's capable of, I think.
Oh, I fully agree with you. And, one of the things that, like, I started doing when I started ministry, one of the things that you learn very quick is it's like, I've said this before, but it's like one of the most thankless jobs, I believe. And it's not, you're not in it for the thanks. You're not in it for all the accolades and all this other stuff. At least I'm not. But what I started doing very early in ministry was like when I received a card from somebody, just like, hey, thank you, or a card just saying, we appreciate, or anything like that, I started keeping them. And there's moments, Ethan, that like I get to a point where I'm like, I'm done. Like, this is crazy. Like all the stuff that's happening, or all these different things that are going on. Like I just don't want to keep going with this. And then you go and I sit down at my desk at my home and I pull these cards out and start reading them. And it's like, oh, okay, that's why. Yeah. That's why. And I think it's the same way with the things that you store up that God's done for you. You're like, man, why do I need to keep going? Why? Like, man, God, where's God at right now in my life? Then all of a sudden you go back and you start reliving and realizing all the things that God has done for you. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's a good thing to do this Monday. We're tired. We're cold.
It's a good idea.
We're cold.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't really want to go into work. If that's you, though, if you're like, hey, I really like to go into work, let us know. we'll pray for you.
It's not normal.
It's not. It's probably the cat person.
I feel like the cat person wouldn't want to go to work.
They don't. They want to be with their cats. They're probably watching them on a webcam at their home or at their office. And
At the office.
At the office.
Yes.
But, hey, we really believe in you, and we know that this could be a tough day for you being a Monday, but listen, I promise you something. 73 degrees is coming, and it is going to be a beautiful day coming up this Wednesday. But more importantly, listen, remember the things that God has been faithful to you and the things that the Lord has done for you.
Mm-hmm. You're going to conquer today, and it's going to be a great day.
Rise above it.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be awesome. Change somebody's life today. Say something nice to somebody.
That's a great goal for days. See if you can impact someone today
Absolutely.
in a good way.
Tell somebody their Hawaiian shirt is beautiful. It's nice. Really like it, even if you don't.
That'd be a crazy sight to see here. It's like super cold Ohio.
Somebody's
nice
like
Hawaiian shirt, man. You're
somebody's
killing
like,
it.
I want the warm weather back. I'm
They're gonna
defiant.
manifest
I'm
it.
against this. Give me my Tommy Bahama.
I can feel it coming. I'm gonna wear my Hawaiian shirt.
We should do that for Easter. Hawaiian theme. We'll just do a luau for Easter.
That's probably never been done before.
It'd be pretty sweet. Maybe
Yeah.
in Hawaii it has.
Yeah, maybe. Good point. Yeah.
But we know, we believe in you, and we know that today you're going to conquer the day, do something nice, impact somebody's life, and know that we love you, and you have a big day ahead of you, and the Lord's going to do some pretty big things in your life.
Yep.
And we can't wait to see you back again on Friday morning. And don't forget about the Wednesday shift as you're trying to get over that hump of Wednesday and go on to the Friday Eve and then Friday itself. It's going to be a big day, and we can't wait to be back with you again.
Yeah. Friday's gonna be insane.
It's going to be great. We can't wait to see you guys. Bye.
All right, see you Friday.
See you. Hey, what's up? I'm Richie. I'm the lead pastor here at Movement Church, Tipp City, Ohio.
I'm Ethan. I'm the media director at Movement Church as well.
Yeah, and we are so thankful that you joined us today for this podcast and this online video. But check this out. This is all made possible through your generosity.
Yeah, and if you want to continue supporting, you can go to movementchurch.community and find more stuff there. And to make sure to follow us on social media, that's Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Yeah, and when you go there, you need to make sure that you hit that subscribe button and then go over to that notifications bell, click that, and you'll be notified when content is available. Thank you so much for joining us today, and God bless.